Evidence of authorship. Are you ready to unlock the secrets to a successful EB1A petition? Welcome back to Dozikaho Green Card. This is where I discuss complex immigration processes into simple actionable steps. In this video, I will dive into one of the EB1A criteria that could set your petition apart. That is the evidence of authorship of scholarly articles in professional or major trade publication or other major media. I would also explore what counts as qualifying evidence and how to present it effectively, and strategies to highlight your unique contributions. Whether you are a researcher, a PhD student, or an industry expert, or someone pursuing extraordinary ability recognition, this video is packed with insight to guide you. My name is Chiedozie and I'm a senior technical writing analyst. I so much believe that delivering a winning EB1A criteria, it's all about technical writing. And that is why I'm diving deep into the USCIS policy manual. And I would also explore one of the EB1A criteria, that is the evidence of authorship or scholarly articles in professional or major trade publication or other major media. Now you can see that I'm repeating this whole thing. I would also answer key questions like how many publications is enough to meet this criterion, and how can you leverage your publication to demonstrate extraordinary ability. Now I'm thinking, right? I would also review USCIS non-precedent decision from the Administrative Appeals Office so that you can avoid the pitfalls that have derailed many petitions. Remember, experience does not have to be your teacher. You can learn from others' experience instead. And finally, I will break down what counts as reputable journals or scholarly articles in your field so that you could use that to strengthen your case. This is your one-stop guide to mastering this critical EB1A requirement. Let's start with the USCIS policy manual. That is the criterion 6. And USCIS is saying that the person's scholarly articles in the field in major publication or other major media. That is what the criteria is about. First, USCIS determines whether the person has authored scholarly articles in the field. That is what they are looking for. As defined in the academic arena, a scholarly article reports on original research, experimentation, or philosophical discourse. It is written by a researcher or expert in the field who is often affiliated with a college, university, or research institution. Scholarly articles are also generally peer-reviewed by other experts in the field of specialization. In general, it should have footnotes, endnotes, or a bibliography, and may include graphs, charts, video, or pictures as illustrations of the concepts expressed in the article. Right? I'm reading from USCIS policy manual. Examples of scholarly articles authorship include, but are not limited to, publications in professionally relevant peer-reviewed journals and published conference presentations at nationally or internationally recognized conferences. For other fields, a scholarly article should be written for learned persons in that field. That is, learned is defined as having profound knowledge gained by study. Learned persons include all persons having profound knowledge of a field. Now, second, USCIS determines whether the publications qualifies as a professional publications, major trade publications, or major media publication. Now I'm thinking, in evaluating whether a submitted publication is a professional publication or major media, relevant factors include the intended audience for professional journals, that is one, and the circulation of or readership related to other media in the field for major media. And if you are finding this content helpful and want more tips, strategies, and insider guidance for your EB1A petition, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you will never miss any of my updates. Now, let's build on this community together and help each other succeed. Now, I want to go on so that you understand what I'm trying to say. You have to keep in mind that one of the things you have to do in addition to demonstrating authorship is to demonstrate extraordinary ability using your scholarly articles. And I want to focus on quality and the impact of your work, not just quantity. Now, I will also discuss how quantity can be used. You also talked about the reputation of the journals, the site score, the impact factors, the ranking of these journals can also be used to prove the significance of your publishing platforms. And next, I want you to show how your research has made a lasting impact by providing citation counts, reward applications, or media coverage. And I want you to tie this back to your narrative of being at the top of your field by connecting your work to significant advancements or solutions in your discipline. Now, remember, for the final merit determination, it is not just about meeting the basic criteria or the criterion, that is demonstrating that your work, that you also have to demonstrate that your work elevates to the elite of the expert of your profession. And be sure to tell a compelling story how your research proves your extraordinary ability. Now, if you're looking for a deep dive of how to use these strategies and how to leverage this to make a credible discussion for your petition, I've made a longer video about the final merit determination. I've put a link to that video in the comment section where you, and in this one, the petitioner, a fashion designer, seeks classification as an individual of extraordinary ability. And they are saying that the first preference classification makes immigrant visa available to those who can demonstrate their extraordinary ability through sustained national or international acclaim, and those achievements have been recognized in their field through extensive documentation. And USCIS uses the word extensive documentation. I will tell you that if you are arguing that you have authored publication, you should also keep in mind that it's not about having publication, it's about how many publications that you have. This is where I'll tell you that quantity is important, because if you are, for example, a doctoral student and you have, let's say, 20 publications, 20 publication is significant for a doctoral student to have achieved even as a doctoral student, because not even some professors who are associate professor in some field do not have up to 20 publications. Be sure to use that quantity to highlight sustained or extensive documentation. Now, let me continue in reading this administrative appeal. The petitioner contends that because fashion designers are not researchers or experts in the field that are affiliated with colleges, universities, or research institutions, this criteria does not readily apply to the occupation. However, this criterion is not as limiting as the petitioner asserts. Outside of the academic arena, a scholarly article should be written for learned persons in the field and may appear in professional or trade or major trade publication or major media. As the petitioner has not yet established that this criterion does not apply to her profession, we cannot consider comparable evidence. The record contains documentation of the petitioner's video presentation at the 2020 blank regarding what to look for when buying children's wear. The presentation was given to a general audience, specifically Spanish-speaking fashion lovers, not learned persons in the field. In addition, the petitioner has not demonstrated that the presentation qualifies as a major media. That is to say that you could also use other media to meet, this criteria. It doesn't have to be a reputable journal. If you are not into publishing, you can be a major trade organization. And USCIS is careful to use the word trade organization, but I want you to keep in mind that they are saying that for this person that they had this video, they are not having issues with this video. Or they are saying that it is for fashion lovers and not for learned persons in the field. Now, that is to say that if this video that was published in a, let's say, for learned persons who are into fashion design, I think USCIS could have accepted the video that was presented for this criterion. And as such, that you should keep in mind that when you are presenting a journal articles, that you should want to make sure that the article was published from learned professionals in a field or in your field. Now let's move on and look at another AAO appeals and USCIS reporter, so that we could learn from this pitfall, so that we do not fall into the same pit these guys fell into. This is another one that I'm reading, and it is unfortunately the same. This one is a fashion model. The previous one was a fashion designer, and USCIS says that this fashion model seeks classification as an individual of extraordinary ability, and they went further to say that evidence of the individual's authorship of scholarly articles in the field, in professional or major trade publications or other major media. This criterion contains multiple evidentiary elements the petitioner must satisfy through submission of evidence. First, the petitioner must establish that she has authored scholarly articles in the field in which she intends to engage if she is granted status as a lawful permanent resident. We consider these articles within two distinct areas. First, the first area is within the academic arena, in which a scholarly article reports on original research, experimentation, or philosophical discourse. The second area lies outside of the academic arena, in which a scholarly article should be written for learned persons in that field. Learned is defined as having or demonstrating profound knowledge or scholarship. Now, if you watch what USCIS is saying now, USCIS is arguing that this article should be for learned or professional persons. That means to say that you should be publishing for learned or professionals in that particular field, and not for general public or general consumption, right? Now, the second element that this criteria requires is that the scholarly articles appear in one of the following: one, a professional publications; two, a major trade publication; three, in a form of major media. That is, it could be an article, it could be a media presentation or media publication. And regarding the medium in which the articles appear, the petitioner should establish that the publication circulation statistics are high relative to similar publication, and should also establish the publication's intended audience. That the intended audience of this scholarly article is as important as the scholarly articles itself. In other words, that USCIS is asking you to demonstrate who are the audience for which that article is published. Who are you writing for? Who are going to be reading whatever you are publishing? And this is what it takes to meet this criterion. Now, although the petitioner indicated at the time of filing that she met this criterion, she did not provide documentation of her authorship of scholarly article. Her response to the RFE included evidence that she served as a guest blogger for Style Voyeur magazine website, participated in a blank for Oyster magazine, created a backstage diary for Rush magazine website, and prepared a list of her top 10 career highlights in connection to her STM award. The director determined that the petitioner had not established that her work that her published were considered of scholarly articles intended for learned persons in her field, or that it appeared in professional or major trade publications or other major media. On appeal, it says that she submitted evidence regarding the social media following of the reference magazine, and provided sufficient evidence that her work appeared in qualifying media. However, the petitioner does not contest the director's determination that she did not provide evidence of the scholarly nature of her published work. We agree that with the director that the evidence does not meet all elements of this criterion. For example, the petitioner provided copies of emails she received from Style Voyeur and Oyster magazines, inviting her to participate in a guest blogger appearance and in a blank respectively. Style Voyeur asks her to include behind-the-scenes content from photo shoots and fashion shows, cool pics of the city or cities you visit, candid pictures of the petitioners with other girls, and photographs of casting outfits, selfies, your apartment, whatever. Oyster magazine similarly asked her to film an introductory video and suggested that she provided content that included video of her getting ready for the day, traveling to a venue where she was working, hanging backstage, and getting her makeup done. The petitioner has not established that the content she created constitutes scholarly articles or that it is an intended audience or that his intended audience was learned persons in the field. Accordingly, the petitioner has not demonstrated that she meets the requirements of this criteria. Now, let's take a pause here and try to understand what USCIS is saying. We would come to understand that USCIS is saying that you could publish anything anywhere, but you should be able to demonstrate to us that where you publish it and the persons for whom you are writing for are learned professionals in your field. Now, let's take, for example, this person was invited to write about fashion modeling, where they work and whatever they do. If they were able to demonstrate, I don't see how they will be able to demonstrate that. But I'm just giving that as an example because I have also received an RFE on someone who was publishing in a pharmaceutical magazines. And USCIS says that our journal is not for learned professionals. We went ahead to give USCIS that the journals for which this person was publishing for or with are for learned professional because the journal only take articles from people who are pharmaceutical persons, people who have degrees in pharmaceutical industry. And that was a credible evidence we found on the website to demonstrate that that journal, it is for learned professionals and not just any kind of media publication. I want you to keep in mind when you use this to demonstrate that you have published a scholarly article that is for your field. Keep that in mind so that you'll be able to win this criterion and go on to smiling to your green card. I hope I've been able to make a compelling video that helps you to understand the criterion for authorship of scholarly articles in professional media or major trade publication. I hope this helps you in your green card job. Have you received an RFE, that is a request for evidence related to authorship of scholarly articles in professional or major trade publications? Now, if that is your case, I want you to go ahead, share your experience in the comment section below so that I believe that your insights can help others navigating similar challenges so that we could learn from you how you skate through. I want you to keep in mind that achieving extraordinary ability is about showcasing contributions and original contribution. Stay confident, prepared, and I will see you in my next video. If you think that this video has helped you in any way, I want you to go ahead, like my video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share my video with your family and friends, as that really helps my channel. I will see you in my next video. Peace.